morning. I grew up in Bellefontaine, Ohio, a small rural town about 45 minutes northwest of Columbus. I'd like to think I was a fairly decent kid while I was there, but I think we would all agree that I absolutely took advantage of youthful indiscretions as a teenager. I made a lot of mistakes. I didn't excel in school. In fact, I didn't study very hard. My academic performance was so non-impressive that my high school counselor told me, college is not for you. I went anyway. I did struggle mightily my first year, so much so that I wanted to quit. But because of my parents, my family, my mentors, my friends, and many second chances, I went on to get 2 undergraduate degrees and a master's degree. When I graduated from college, I was fortunate enough to get my first teaching job in one of the first excellent rated charter schools in the state of Ohio. I had some success there, and pretty soon my colleagues were asking me when I was going to open my own school. This is something that I wanted to do, but I knew I didn't have the ability to do it yet. So I took a risk, and I joined a fellowship program that was going to train me to launch a high-quality, public, nonprofit charter school. And when I finished that training program, I moved my 8-month pregnant wife to Columbus, knowing very well that politics alone might stop us from even being able to open this school. I knew that the funding was such that we may not be able to sustain it. I had to fill out personal financial guarantees. We had no building, no students, no staff, and there were people actively trying to keep us out of their communities. And I knew if I was successful at accomplishing my dream to launch a charter school for some of our most at-risk youth, that every morning I woke up, I would be hated. Was I crazy? Why would I do these things? Let me tell you about Michael and why I do these things. Michael's a young man that grew up in complete poverty. In his home, he witnessed or experienced physical abuse, mental abuse, and drug abuse. His father was incarcerated multiple times for abusing his mother. Despite these facts, Michael had a beautiful mind. He picked up math in an instant, he loved to write, and he devoured books. He was an academic superstar that actually made being smart cool. He was also a young boy growing up in a neighborhood that was pretty rough, and his defenses were often up. This academic superstar would make mistakes. From time to time, he'd physically threaten his peers. See, Michael didn't have many people in his life that were helping him outside of our school. Michael did go on to graduate from high school, and we're in touch, but he's struggling. He's not sure what to do next. He's yet to apply for college. So you might be thinking, of course you had more opportunity than Michael. He grew up in poverty. That's just the way that it is. But we expect kids like Michael to be as good as or even better than their more affluent peers with less resources and less supports. I believe that when we take risks for our most at-risk youth, we give them the opportunity that we've had to fail and find greater success in life. I have led a life of risks so that others can too. It's risky to be a charter school founder in the state of Ohio. I am hated. I'm told that I'm privatizing education, that I'm draining public resources, that I have no accountability, and I'm lumped in with the controversy and mixed to poor results of other charter schools. In Ohio, we have a funding problem. Deemed unconstitutional by our Supreme Court multiple times, charter schools, if you choose a charter school for your child, you are choosing for your child to be educated on a third less funding than if you picked your neighborhood school. We are asking charter schools in the state of Ohio to serve up the educational equivalent of a steak meal with white tablecloth service at the cost of a Wendy's value meal. And what's crazier is that by virtue of Ohio law, charter schools are located primarily in our urban 8 centers across Ohio, areas where schools have struggled to serve our students, often our hungriest, poorest, most trauma-exposed students. So again, why take these kind of risks for students like Michael? Michael had to be perfect. The goals that we have for kids like Michael seem so unattainable. Be an involved, bought-in student, get straight A's, get a full scholarship for college, graduate from college, be a professional, get married, have kids, stay away from drugs, and on and on and on. I don't know about you, but those things are hard for me. And when, as a people, we are faced with what seems like imminent failure, we're less likely to try hard things. Michael couldn't bring himself to apply for a scholarship. He couldn't risk taking on loans. He couldn't risk asking an adult for help for fear of rejection. So how do we help kids like Michael? We have to create an environment where failure is not a death sentence. It's a part of learning. At United Schools Network, we are giving our 650 elementary and middle school kids a college, career, and life prep education that's making a real difference. I want to tell you how we are taking risks for our students so that they can find greater success in life. Keisha is another young lady that attended our school. She grew up in poverty. She's in a single-family home. She attended 3 elementary schools before coming to us in middle school. She came to us eager to learn, but very far behind. Common for many students that come to our schools. And in a country so obsessed with testing, you might be thinking that we would spend all of our time on test prep, but we risk taking some of that time for real practical life prep. See, when Keisha walked through our doors in 6th grade, the first 3 days of school are culture camp. We set aside academics and we focus on what it takes to be a good scholar and a good, strong citizen of integrity. Keisha received her first F grades when she came to our school, but that's okay because we risk celebrating improvement as much as achievement. So each week in our community celebrations, we would honor students like Keisha when they brought that F grade up to a C or that D grade up to a B. Because of that, Keisha grew 2.5 years academically in 1. And that's really important when you also understand that we risk not socially promoting students onto the next grade unless they're ready. Some of our greatest success stories are students who repeated that grade because we could be their champions as they mastered that content and conquered that grade level. Keisha was in a school, our school, with high expectations, and we helped her to understand that it's okay to fail, and we're going to pick her back up again and again and again. And when Keisha entered 8th grade, she entered into our high school placement program, where we helped her set ambitious goals for her future and navigate the complex system of getting into the best high schools in our city. Keisha did go on to one of our best high schools, and I'm excited to say that she did go on to college this year on a full scholarship. But she still needs our help. Our alumni services coordinator alerted me that just like me, she wanted to quit this year. So I picked up the phone, I called Keisha, I wanted to let her know my story, that I wanted to quit. But most importantly, I wanted to give Keisha permission to fail. I wanted her to know that if this wasn't what she thought it was, if this wasn't going to help her accomplish her dreams, and she wanted to come home, that it was okay. That we would love her and we would walk alongside her and help her figure out that next step. You could hear the relief in Keisha's voice. She cried. And I'm really excited that Keisha's decided to stay this year, but we're going to continue to be there for her. 95% of the students who have finished our middle school program have gone on to graduate from high school. Our president just celebrated a high of 83% high school graduation for all students. Of our 95% of students who graduated from high school, 75% have gone on to college and they're persisting. The national average for all students going to college is at 65%. It's Keisha's story and other stories like hers from our schools that allow me to know that it's okay that people hate me and the other people in our network. That the risks that we have taken have been worth every ounce. And Michael's story's not over yet. Michael's still learning that he can set ambitious goals, and if he doesn't accomplish them, that we're going to be here for him. We are going to give our time, our energy, and we're going to lend him our connections to make sure he has an opportunity to achieve the dreams that he has for his life. With an opportunity to fail, they will succeed. I believe that when we take risks for our most at-risk students, we give them the opportunity that we've had to fail and find greater success in life. I'm asking everyone in this audience to forget about our differences. Public charter school, public district school, private school, Democrat, Republican. And let's focus on how we can take risks to give the students and youth in our communities the opportunity to fail so that they can succeed. Thank you.